I just
really
completely squished you. Let's do it again. Oh, we landed perfect that time. All right, welcome to the second video that we're posting here on the Cousin Collective channel. This is gonna tell the story of the craziest 2 weeks in our lives that we had back last year in May of 2018.
Backstory. I graduated high school a semester early and I went to Ball State University in Indiana. And then we decided at the end that we were gonna go to my high school prom because I really still wanted to do all the senior events, but being away at college made that kind of hard. Jack was kind of cautious at first. He's 2 years older than me, so he was like, I don't know if I want to go with a younger kid. But he did, and he loved it because we had so much fun.
I'm really glad I went.
They're down. Yeah.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, so prom was Saturday, May 5th of 2018, and we danced, had a lot of fun, stayed out really late because it didn't get over until like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So we got back that night to her house, slept for an hour, and then we had to wake up and drive her to the airport to go to her sister's graduation in...
Yes. So my sister Lauren graduated from the Ohio State University on May 6th. And I flew there and met my parents there. And we
at
ended
6
up...
o'clock in the morning, she had a flight out. So we ended prom at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then she had to catch a flight at 6. So we left the house at like 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Yeah,
so
it was crazy.
We had like 2 hours of sleep. Not even 1 hour of sleep, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, but so then after my sister graduated, her and I drove all the way to our campground in Michigan in the Upper Peninsula, and we were just moving stuff from her place in Ohio to Michigan so she could work there for the summer.
So while Lindsay and Lauren were up in Michigan at the campground, that day, that Sunday that I dropped her off at the airport, I had to drive back to Iowa where I was going to school and finish up a couple of finals that week so I could finish up my last day of school. And then after I finished up my last day of school and while she was at Michigan, packed up all of my stuff at where I was staying at school, drove all the way back to Chicago, unloaded that, and that's when she came down back from Michigan to Chicago, and that's when we started loading up the vehicles to drive down to Florida.
We ended up taking my car because Jack's car
broke down.
Yeah.
I drove up, her house is 45 minutes from where I grew up, so I drove my car that I was gonna drive down to Florida, up to her house. It was pouring rain, wound up, my battery and alternator went out. Her brother and I went to an auto shop.
Yeah.
And we tried to get it fixed, but they couldn't get me in for like a couple of days. We were leaving like 12 hours later to drive down to Florida.
Yeah, in the morning. So then we ended up taking my car, which is a ton smaller, so we had to leave a lot of stuff behind to take for the next trip, which would be in a week. And then we took my car and my sister drove a huge U-Haul. So we drove that all the way and we got just south of Atlanta and we stopped for the night. And then we finished up the drive the next day and got to the house and unpacked as much as we could, returned the U-Haul, but man, it was a
lot. It was a
drive.
lot of driving. It's 22 to 24 hours from where we lived in the suburbs of Chicago to where we are in Florida. And doing that twice in 1 week was kind of hard. So that was the first time. The second time is coming up. So as we were unpacking some of the stuff, once we first got down to Florida, we realized that we didn't have a lot of stuff. So I kind of took this funny video. We didn't have a pizza cutter and we didn't have a toaster oven. How are you cutting those? Keep cutting. Cut this one like you just cut that one. Keep going. Oh, yeah, nice. Okay.
We need a pizza cutter.
We need a pizza cutter, Mom. We tried to order a toaster yesterday because we only have this one, but we need a toaster oven. We just need one. I don't know if you guys grew up in a toaster oven. You just grew up in a toaster where you put bread in it. I grew up in a toaster oven, which I think is amazing and is a lot more convenient.
You grew up right in the oven.
Yeah, I was baked in the oven.
Okay, so during that first week, I had a lot of work stuff to do. I just got a new job, so I had to do a lot of background checks, fingerprinting, drug tests, all of it. And I had my orientation.
Pass those? Good. We're going to get Lindsey, what are we doing? Fingerprinted, background checked, because you're a criminal. And we went to the wrong place. I think she's just trying to put off getting her background checked and fingerprinted because she knows it's gonna come back bad. The dude next to us is vaping heavily. Don't do it. He also doesn't have his shirt on.
Well, anyway, so I had to pass all of those tests or whatever, and then I had my orientation, and that was pretty fun actually. I met a lot of people my age down here, so that was good.
So that week she had a lot of work stuff to do, orientation, everything like that. Like she said, I was unpacking the car, getting stuff moved into the house, getting us kind of settled in. And then that Friday, she still has yet to graduate from high school. So we needed to fly back to Chicago so she could graduate high school, as well as see my cousin Rachel and my sister Danielle graduate high school too. So we took our neighbor, graciously drove us to the airport in Fort Myers, and we flew back to Chicago basically just for the weekend. And we had a one-way ticket.
We're gonna do that next week when we get back.
Alright, thank you so much.
Alright, take care.
Right now? This is our first flight together. Ready? When you get in from the airport in Chicago, on your way home, you have to stop at Gene and Jude's. I can't even see the screen right now.
Just a mustard. Center. We flew back to Chicago and we saw Danielle graduate on Saturday. And then Rachel and I graduated on Sunday, so that was crazy because so much life had happened before we graduated, even for all three of us.
Danielle Hope Stratton.
After Sunday, after Rachel and I were graduated, Jack and I packed up stuff in his sister's car because we ended up having to take her car down instead of his. And
my car still wasn't fixed when we got back, so my sister and I basically just flopped cars. So she still to this day is driving the car that I used to drive all the time up in Illinois, and I still have her car down here.
But so then we left the 21st, so that Monday?
Yeah, we left I think Monday, May 21st, and that's when we've officially kind of left home, left Chicago, and have been kind of down here full time.
We got down here and we drove, the two of us. We stayed at one of his friend's house
in Nashville.
Overnight. Yeah, and then we came to Florida and we got here, and man, it was just exciting and
exhausting too. You'll see in this next video we look tired even though it's a beautiful sunset and everything like that. I was very glad that like the two craziest weeks of our lives was over and we didn't have 24 hours in a car and plane rides and moving busyness. Stuff. It was crazy.
It was so busy. Yeah, so it's so nice now to just be in a routine and have everything just
unpacked and settled in and be
exactly.
We're going through the canyon. Just crash investigation. Welcome to Florida for the second time. But we're actually here now. We are home. Not yet. We'll be home in 15 minutes, but we're about to go over the bridge. We just got back home pretty much, but we came in at 20 minutes or so after sunset, and so we wanted to come to Ponce Beach. Or Ponce. How do you say it?
Ponce.
Ponce? Alright. There's still a little bit of a sunset, so it's kind of a good way to end off 12 hours of driving, because that was a long drive.
Yeah.
We found a turtle over here last time.
No, we got a crab.
A crab, that's what it was, not a turtle. I'm silly. See a boat out there? This is beautiful. So that's it. That's the craziest 2 weeks in our lives that we've had thus far. I'm sure we'll have another crazy 2-week story or adventure or trip or something like that. But this one's definitely up there for miles traveled and craziness that happened. So thank you for watching the video. If you did like the video, give it a thumbs up, as well as subscribe and turn on notifications. Lindsey and I will be uploading probably every Friday, nearly every Friday, to this channel.
Yep.
And our family.
Yeah, we'll be also uploading throughout the week, so stay tuned and watch all their videos, because all together we're all spread over the United States, so it'll be nice to bring us together through this. And
that's why we call it the Cousin Collective, because we're all
yes.
collecting in this one area.
Yeah.
This is one area.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye! Mm-hmm.